Good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. January 4th, 2026. The United States of America. Breaking news. They didn't just focus on picking up Nicolas Maduro and his wife to take them to New York, but more things happened that night. Here, exclusively for the Hispanic community. Tonight on Military Strategies, new disturbing details about the United States operation against Venezuela. Family, your likes, your comments. Is this military strategy? Let's begin. Family, they say that waiting sometimes feels special, that waiting is sometimes a quality patience.
Yeah.
Having patience is what the people of Venezuela have had for years to free themselves from a dictator. Nicolas Maduro, who prepared the footage we bring tonight. Get ready for what's coming because it's absolute madness, folks. It's absolute madness. Welcome. Military Strategies, folks. We are live right now.
Oh.
Focus on what we'll see tonight. The United States possibly bombed a location that Iran and Russia are not going to like very much. Please, your likes, your comments, pay attention to what I just discovered. Just a short while ago, and this is amazing. Welcome, family. After the hangover from Nicolas Maduro, after everything that has happened, everything that has gone on, we have the list of the guards who died protecting Nicolas Maduro. 18.
8.
At least Venezuelans and several others were Cubans. We have information about how an operation was carried out with such precision, and this was already familiar to us. Are you going to be amazed by what we bring tonight? Family? I see that you're already talking out there. I see that you're already commenting out there. What place could it be? I like that people watch this show.
Me gusta que la gente
Follow our content and learn what we show every day and every moment. In Military Strategies, for weeks now, we've been searching, investigating live hidden places, the regime. Ready. Tonight, well, let's get started because Marco Rubio has also spoken. Venezuela's future is unclear. We're in limbo with groups on the streets. There are groups on the streets. Right now, Padrino has spoken, several have spoken. They've talked about a coup. Right now, this is the situation on Venezuela's streets. What we're seeing now, right now, are groups on the streets, armed, with motorcycles, all the way up.
In the street in defense of President Nicolas Maduro. And we are at the Great Wall of Petare, and we see everyone mobilized in defense of the homeland. The enemies from the north won't be able to defeat us.
This isn't what Donald Trump talked about 24 hours ago. This isn't what Marco Rubio is talking about with the YES. The regime acts to prevent dissent and stop people from celebrating in the streets.
There go the regime's paid supporters.
They are sending colectivos into the streets. Family of Venezuela, please, no one should go out to protest right now. and put themselves in unnecessary danger. Give it time.
Darle tiempo.
Donald Trump and Marco Rubio, it's not worth it for this to be resolved. They are dangerous and they're there to scare people. It's clear that people want to go out on the streets and want to celebrate. Some have already done so.
Algunos lo han hecho.
They have dressed up as Donald Trump. And they have celebrated it not only in Venezuela, but also in Argentina. A huge party in Argentina to celebrate Nicolas Maduro, a huge party. The whole world is celebrating it. Even in small cities, Venezuelans are gathering, flag in hand, to celebrate the fall of the tyrant. But be careful not to get confused. The mission is not over. The mission still has important points. The army is still deployed. They still have operational capacity. The dictatorship continues. Now it's doing so with Delcy at the helm. We also have an exclusive interview with Nicolas Maduro's son. We have the video of Nicolas Maduro saying, "I'm hurt." Goodbye Dado and Marco Rubio clarifying the future of Venezuela. All of that at the same time, plus the official statement, plus images of destruction. And among other things, the menu Nicolas Maduro ate today, which I think is going to make him lose weight. And how? Shall we begin? Without a doubt, with Marco Rubio, one of the men of the moment, someone who can handle this story, and who in the past was a political rival of Donald Trump for the leadership of the Republican Party. Marco Rubio is taking a risk to become president of the United States of America. Let's watch. Let's see what Marco Rubio has said. First clip.
The experts that people have on, watch these experts, and it's clown hour, okay? These are people who have focused their entire careers on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything.
Are you talking about the experts who are saying that Venezuela is going to become Libya? It's going to become Iraq? It's going to become Afghanistan? Is that what you're saying? These experts are specialized in the Middle East, but they have no idea about Venezuela.
The Western Hemisphere. Venezuela doesn't look like Libya. It doesn't look like Iraq.
Venezuela is not like Libya or Iraq.
Nothing
to do with Afghanistan.
looks nothing like the Middle East except for
Nothing to do with the Middle East.
the Iranian agents running through the middle.
Even though there are Iranian agents,
They're plotting against America.
they are planning things against America.
Western countries have deep cultural traditions and close ties to the United States, so nothing like that exists. People should stop comparing apples and oranges. The Middle East is like apples and the Western Hemisphere is like oranges.
Stop comparing them, huh? Apples in the Middle East with oranges from Western Venezuela.
2, this is about the national interest of the United States. I'm confident we're safer and better off because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted, the drug trafficker, illegitimate president running the dice.
He thinks that now we are safer because the other option was to leave Nicolas Maduro, to leave a trafficker who would keep trafficking.
Open invitation to all
Open the invitation for others to do it as well,
of our adversaries to act freely against us.
and that they can act however they want toward the United States.
United States from Venezuela. That would not continue.
That was not going to continue.
He says the alternative was letting a drug trafficker keep using the country.
The other option was to allow the traffickers to keep working.
And elements of nation-state power to further drug trafficking organizations, read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate.
He has used his security services to work with traffickers instead of arresting them.
The trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States, that's going to stop, he says.
That's going to stop. That's going to stop. Family, I want your comments too. Today's super important. We also need super chat. Thank you for supporting this content. Marco Rubio. You'll see what he'll say and what he'll tell you. I'm telling you. There's a bombshell tonight in military strategies. There's a bombshell in military strategies regarding the events from the 3rd to the 4th. Get ready, because you're going to be amazed.
He says Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is the legitimate president.
Her position now is that Delcy Rodriguez is the president of Venezuela.
Well, this is not about the legitimate, she says.
This isn't about Venezuela's legitimate president.
No, we don't believe that this regime, she says.
We don't believe that this regime that is currently in power is legitimate, has legitimacy.
In the election, and it's not.
It doesn't have legitimacy in any election. Not only us, it's more than 60.
More than 60.
It's more countries around the world.
On the world that have taken that view as well, including the
European Union.
But we understand that there are people in Venezuela today who are the ones who can make changes.
But we understand that there are people in Venezuela who can make changes today.
For example, when sending the migrant planes, even though we never recognized the Maduro regime, it says,
at times we've had to contact the regime, even though Maduro wasn't the legitimate president, to talk about immigration.
The regime is legitimate. We had to deal with
We had to talk to the authorities who controlled the airport.
We had
to make agreements with armed people.
And controlled the airport. Achieving these objectives,
we had to reach agreements with them to allow these expulsions.
It's not the same as acknowledging this.
It's different to recognize or legitimize or to give legitimacy to the regime.
The legitimacy of their government system will undergo a transition period.
The legitimacy of whatever has to happen will come after a transition period and with elections which have not taken place yet.
And by the way, that's the reason why Maduro is not just a candidate for justice.
And this is one of the reasons why Nicolas Maduro is not just being arrested as a trafficker.
He is
a legitimate president.
But the head of state. I keep seeing media reports calling him President Maduro.
And what the media are doing, referring to him as president of Venezuela.
Maduro and the head of state,
he was not the head of state. He was not a legitimate president.
He was not the head, and it's not just us.
And it's not just us saying it, more people are saying it too. Biden said it too.
And more than 60 countries around the world hold that position.
Maintain that position.
Yep.
It's a bit ambiguous whether Rodriguez is also wanted, if there's a reward for her too, but now it seems she's the one communicating with Marco Rubio. But the thing is, if Rodriguez has said that the revolution lives, that Chavez lives and the revolution lives, and that they want Maduro back? By the way, Maduro was shouting that he was hurt.
Maduro gritaba.
The president of the state was hurt.
Hello, Lagan Birchendo.
I don't know if he says Trump or hello and says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Let's listen to it.
Goal.
I think he says Trump. I don't know. You guys in the chat, please, if you can help me in the chat, what is he saying there? Nicolas Maduro. Definitely Happy New Year. I don't know if it's hello or Trump.
Goal, Happy New Year, the head of state.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt, Maduro, who wasn't tied by his feet, says I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Maduro, he's limping. Silita. Dude,
Típica.
Good evening.
good evening,
And it
says good night.
Eh,
Cynthia, and says good night. So he says, Trump, Happy New Year, I'm hurt, good night. Trump, Happy New Year, I'm hurt, good night, Salita, with a shocked face. The head of state. Trump, it says Trump there, or I think it says Trump. The first Happy New Year.
I'm hurt.
Hurt tomorrow. Maduro, now it seems that Maduro suddenly speaks English. Now it seems that Maduro speaks English, but I don't know if he says hello or Trump. It just sounds so canned. So it could be either way, huh? Right? Tomorrow, Maduro has to appear in court with Ilya. They both have to appear so they can be read their rights, give their statements, their first statements, so they can be told why they are being detained. Tomorrow, Maduro is going to have a busy day.
there's no need to keep an eye on her for sure.
Good night, buenas noches, you say it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's just that he's a jester. He keeps acting like a jester. What did Nicolas Maduro's son say?
Happy.
So I wanted to take advantage of you sending this link. I said, let's connect. We're good. We're calm. They'll see us in the street near this town, raising the flags of divinity. And they want to see us weak, but they won't see us weak. They won't do it. Does it hurt us? Of course. Does it make us angry? Of course it does, but they won't be able to. No kidding. I swear on my life, I swear on my dad, I swear on Sylvia that we're going to get through this. And a lot of people called me today. Nahum, a lot of people.
Nicolásito is also wanted, huh?
Spiritual people, many evangelicals and others with strong faith, all of them uncoordinated, unfamiliar, and sometimes not even getting along. Everyone kept saying we'll get through this and President Nicolas Maduro will return, but what about us? Well, today was a day of shock, of course. We were all in shock. Damn, it was a hell of a blow, like I said. We've had a great victory, but today we underestimated. Tomorrow, January 4th, and on January 5th, we're going to the streets. We're going to call on our people. We're going to unite and gather around our political military high command with maximum unity. They want to sow discord, but they won't succeed. They want to plant doubts, but they won't succeed. They can't succeed. They can't manage to plant doubts. We'll see about that later.
We're listening to Nicholas's son.
History will tell who the traitors were, thank you.
He's talking about traitors. Pay attention, Nicolas' son. He's talking about betrayal. Betrayal. This is important, huh? A betrayal is now officially acknowledged.
History will reveal it.
History will reveal it.
We'll see it. We must focus on moving our country forward, on raising the banners of Chavez, and on bringing Nicolas Maduro Moro and Silvia Flores back safe and sound. Here I am, fellow members of this party and movements. Let's move forward, brothers. I am firm, we are firm, my family is firm, strong, and we are moving forward. So forgive me if I got a little emotional. I wanted to speak to you from the heart. Several people write to me there. America, Ernesto Ricardo Molina, and I'm keeping an eye out. She's talked to half the world today, and I still need to talk to the rest, but we're fine. In God's name, a hug will overcome.
Words from Nicolásito, and pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. Nicolásito has been excluded from the cabinet of Delcy. God, your godfather, Hasn't shown up. They've taken his father and haven't invited him to be part of the decisions being made to bring him back. There's an open war right now within Chavismo, and people are talking about betrayals. I mentioned this today on my Twitter account, Estrate Militar. You can follow us and start seeing a lot of information that we post there day by day, minute by minute. We were saying on X? Now? God, you, Godfather, and Rodriguez have two problems, Trump and Chavismo itself. If they back down, they'll be traitors and will be hunted by their own people, the Chavistas. If they don't back down, Trump will go after them. Now, Delson can't back down, nor can Godfather or Diosdado, in a supposed utopian revolution that has never existed beyond a dictatorship. If they do, everyone they've armed, all those groups, they're going to accuse them of being traitors and take them out. But also, the move by Donald Trump and Marco Rubio to say they want to talk to Delson is going to make people within Chavismo consider Delson a traitor. No one is going to understand if they kidnap Nicolás Maduro. Delson discusses Venezuela's future with Marco Rubio. This has already been discussed, and Nicolas's son is calling it betrayal. Time will reveal who it is. So you're going to see more than just words between them, something more. Let's continue again now with Marco Rubio.
All these Democrats. It's the Cuban government.
The administration.
They talk about Cuba.
Next target, Mr. Secretary.
Is Cuba the next target in this story?
The head of state.
The government of Cuba is a big problem. It's a big problem.
The head of state. Huge problem. First
So
of all,
is that a yes?
Cuba says,
So this is a yes.
but I don't think people fully appreciate.
But I don't think people fully appreciate it.
I think they're in a lot of trouble. Yes,
And does it stop there? And he says, I don't think they're in big trouble. I think they're in big trouble.
the head of state.
He says, I'm not going to tell you about our future steps and what they're going to be.
And
what our policies are going to be, but
it's not any
secret that we're not fans of Cuba?
Cuban regime, who, by the way, what?
By the way,
the head of state, by the way.
They provided Maduro with internal security.
Our apparatus.
Our internal security operator, which was all controlled by Cuba.
The head of state.
He says Elsie Rodriguez talks about colonization.
That those who have been colonized.
Of the few who have colonized Venezuela.
At least inside the regime.
Within the regime, it's been Cuba.
Cubans. It was Cubans that guarded Maduro.
Were they Cuban? Maduro's guards were not protected by Venezuelan security.
He had Cubans?
Maduro had Cuban bodyguards.
Regarding his intelligence, who spies and who doesn't.
Regarding the country's internal intelligence, they were Cubans.
They were all Cubans.
Eran todos cubanos.
So the betrayal? How did the Deltas get into the bunker like it was nothing? I'm going to tell you something. It's been leaked. It's been leaked, something that could be quite possible right now due to the complexity of the operation. It's perhaps one of the most complex operations in the history of the United States of America and of the military world. Along with the rescue of Noar Gamani and 3 hostages in the Gaza Strip. Year 2024. By this we mean, let's take a look at something. Caracas fuerte, Tuna. Let's look around here. Because something here really grabs my attention. There's something in this story that truly catches my eye.
Yeah.
And that we need to understand. The Delta team, the Delta Force team, entered Maduro's bunker via this door. But from there, they were going in blind. Were they really going in blind or not? That's my first question for you tonight. It seems that in a place in the United States, a complete model of Nicolas Maduro's bunker was built where he was sleeping with Celita. A complete model. There was information about the number of guards, where they were located, what kind of weapons they carried, and their full names. Interesting, isn't it? The inner perimeter of the bunker was guarded by Cubans. The Delta had been practicing day after day for months to fully coordinate with the entire operation. The rest of Nicolas Maduro's protective circle was in the outer area. And that's where we have the list. Ready? Because we're going to see it now. Who was in that circle? Juan Escalona died during extraction. 18 confirmed dead according to Ulula, who follows me. My regards. 18 confirmed dead just in Nicholas and Celia's house. Juan Escalona, bodyguard of Maduro's security ring, deputy of the PSUF for Portuguesa. Let's look for a photograph. We have it around here. So you realize how many people felt protecting Nicolas Maduro. Training here, thanks to Ulula, information about this topic has been leaking. That's where we are. Escalona, a legendary figure, was ousted that night. Thank you. First Lieutenant of EMAR, Elizabeth Paez Torres, military aviation at the Tetra Network Teleport in Fortitiuna. Lenin Osorio Ramirez, member of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, son of Zoraida Ramirez, president of Instituto Autónomo Consejo Nacional de Derechos de Niños, Niñas y Adolescentes. Lieutenant Gendis Christopher Gregorio Barreto, Presidential Security Battalion. Let's see if we have a photograph of this one. Maybe we could have it. I'm not going to put it out. It's not in good enough condition. Jean-Pierre Josué Parra, Honor Guard, Frank Harrison, Javier Hurtado Ortuño, José Ángel Ilarra González, Jerry Antonio Aguilera Velázquez, Honor Guard. Franco Abraham Contreras Tochón, Honor Guard, Isaac Enrique Tobar Lamont, Honor Guard. Second Corporal Luis Henry Lopez Sanchez, Lieutenant Lerwis, Giovanni Rivero, Second Sergeant Richard Rodriguez, Bravo Squadron of the Presidential Security Battalion. Anaís Catherine Molina Huenaga, Second Sergeant, Custody Battalion No. 3, Alejandra del Valle Oliveros, Second Sergeant of the Custody Battalion. Carlos Julio Quiñones Perozo, Honor Guard of Custody Battalion No. 3. Jonathan Alexander Cordero, distinguished student at the Saul Abran Pereira Military Academy. What can we take from this in conclusion? That Marco Rubio has told us that those inside the bunker were Cubans, that the entrance to the bunker inside the bunker was protected by Cubans, but not outside. The night of the 3rd, who was on guard? Was the 3rd Custody Battalion, which also had important members, within Nicolas Maduro's security that same night. Which means we're already closing the circle. Where could the leak have come from and who was involved in all this? Someone from the inside obviously provided last-minute information and gave the green light from within. This is clear and undeniable. It can't be done any other way. Without knowing the number of forces they are going to face and the enemy's capabilities, the type of training they have and who they are, they surely knew at all times who they were, most likely. But it doesn't just end here. Get ready because there's more. We talked earlier about Nicolas Maduro's food. All of them gave their lives for Nicolas Maduro and Nicolas Maduro. He appears in this photograph. In the hangar where he was taken. In New York, raising his fingers. His guard died and he raises his fingers. Regardless of everything, this is a catastrophic failure by Padrino Lares. And all of them are not. Because we no longer know who the traitor is? Not even they themselves know right now? The traitor might still be among them. It's like searching through shadows. Everywhere, always. Official statement from the Ministry of People's Power for Defense. The Bolivarian National Armed Force rejects strongly the cowardly kidnapping of citizen Nicolas Maduro Moros, the constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Our commander-in-chief and his wife, the First Lady, Mrs. Celia Flores de Maduro, an act committed Saturday, January 3rd. From the Corrientes, after cold-bloodedly murdering much of his security team, soldiers, and innocent civilians. Similarly, following the Constitutional Chamber of the Supreme Court of Justice's decision on January 3, 2026, through which citizen Delcy Eloína Rodriguez Gomez, Executive Vice President of the Republic, is appointed to assume, as acting president, all the powers, duties, and authorities as President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, in strict compliance with the provisions of our Constitution, the organic law on states of exception, and the organic law of national security. We fully support the decree of state of external commotion throughout the national territory, previously signed. In this regard, the Bolivarian government guarantees that the country will be governed and our institution will continue to use all its available capabilities for military defense, maintaining internal order and preserving peace. Who has said this? Who said this? Who has spoken about this?
He strongly rejects the cowardly kidnapping of citizen Nicolas Maduro Moros, the constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Our commander-in-chief and his wife, the First Lady, Dr. Silvia Flores de Maduro.
Look, who do we have in this photo? The head of the army, Padrino, whom we all know, and the one to his right is Lares. He is the head of defense of Caracas. He hasn't been dismissed, Chief. He hasn't been questioned. The chief is still in his position. The chief is still to the right of Padrino. Still. He's the man who let Nicolas Maduro be kidnapped. He's still in his position.
An act perpetrated yesterday, Saturday, January 3rd of this year, after murdering Sangre Feliz.
Let me remind you, we have an exclusive. The night
Sí.
of Maduro's operation. Did more things happen? Don't miss it in a few minutes here. In military strategies,
A large part of his security team, soldiers, female soldiers, and innocent citizens, strongly rejects the cowardly kidnapping of citizen Nicolas Maduro Moros, president.
they reject it. But are they going to do something? Is something going to be done about this, right? Vladimir Padrino isn't going to do anything.
Fijaros aquí.
It's President Nicolas Maduro and a precedent against the Republic. And this military aggression was carried out in a premeditated way, with the disastrous consequences that we already know, and that the world also hears about. Astonished by the barbarity, by the rudeness and the grotesque nature, by the illegality of this criminal action against our sovereignty. Yesterday they were kidnapped. The person that the people of Venezuela elected as their president. He is President Nicolas Maduro Moros, the constitutional president elected by the people. For the period 2025 to 2031, he is the
2025 to 2031. What an outrageous election. Excuse me, I won't turn off Diosdado because I need to hear what the military leadership says to know if we're heading for civil war. We're heading into a civil war. Let's see. I've already said it 20,000 times. This is an analysis channel, please. Show some respect for the content. We have to see what he's saying. I don't like Vladimir Padrino. I wouldn't go on vacation with him. And honestly, I wish they had taken him away that night. But we have to see what this sinister character says to know what's going to happen.
President Nicolas Maduro, the authentic and genuine leader.
Because I think that Rodriguez, that Dercy, doesn't have enough strength to face these two. Goodbye. And to Godfather.
Constitutional right of all Venezuelan men and women.
Good evening, it's me, Eduardo Minoni. I know you're out there. I find it really strange that the guy who should have defended Nicolas Maduro is still in his position. I find it strange that Orez is to the right of Padrino.
An act that was carried out in free elections in the year 2024. Sovereign, direct, secret, universal elections with an electoral system that guarantees. It has already guaranteed those electoral processes in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela over the last 25 years. So from here, from the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, we demand the immediate release of the constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
And if he isn't released, then what? That's what I want to know. If Nicolas Maduro isn't released, what is Vlad going to do?
We demand his release. President Nicolas Maduro and the First Lady of the Republic, Dr. Silvia Flores de Maduro, have been kidnapped. An act of profound audacity, which being against the legitimate president of Venezuela, also unleashed that audacity against a woman of values.
Now they talk about feminism. Be careful.
Christian, a woman of principles. They also took her away in handcuffs.
Well, she wasn't handcuffed. What we've seen in the video, she isn't handcuffed.
Hot woman. From here, we demand the prompt release of our Commander-in-Chief, the President of all Venezuelan men and women, and the First Lady of the Republic, Dr. Silvia Flores.
There's a topic that seems strange to me. I think Diosdado hasn't wanted to come forward, and now we're going to listen to him because there's been a phone connection with Diosd. He doesn't appear on television anymore. He doesn't want to be on camera anymore. That's it, as they say. He's done with it. He knows that if he appears, something could happen to him. Helicopters could show up. I think they're all dreaming about helicopters. All right? To be president right now. Being president of Venezuela is a problem. Because they're going to come after you. Yes, putting himself or putting her in that position. Diasti can say, well, if they're going after someone, they'll go after her first. Godfather can say, if they're going after someone, they'll go after her first. Diosdado has always wanted to be the president of Venezuela. Always, he has never wanted to put up with Maduro. We've known this since Chavez's time when he couldn't stand him. Diosdado is the frustrated one in the family, and Chavez didn't put him in charge because he knew what could happen. They put Maduro in charge, who is more malleable, more controllable. Maduro appoints Delcy because he doesn't trust Diosdado to avoid a possible coup. They keep Padrino because he controls the military leadership, and Padrino says, what I have is enough. I don't want to get further involved. But now Diosdado, the second in command, can strike the sword and say, is it me? Get ready for the bombshell I have for you.
Prepararos al bombazo que os tengo.
Officially, the United States can't talk about it, but I think it has happened and we're going to see it. Jorge says. Strategies. You need to look for better information. Are you falling behind when it comes to information? Or did you not see what he said? You're the one not watching the show, since I'm showing Marco Rubio videos between each clip of the dictatorial regime of the Maduros. Jorge, if you're not watching it, you shouldn't. Just write and save your keyboard's life, because every keystroke you make reduces your keyboard's lifespan. It's better to use it for more useful things.
We keep going and we demand from the world, we ask the world.
No one will listen. What's striking is they can't respond militarily. And now you will understand why they can't give any military response. Is it related to the exclusive information we have?
Pay close attention to everything that is happening against Venezuela, against its sovereignty, against its constitution. And at the same time, we thank the quick response from almost all the governments of the world and the peoples of the world.
No one recognizes Maduro. Let's see, China, Russia, and maybe Jorge do? I don't know.
Because yesterday we could see popular demonstrations all over the world, and legitimate governments, with few exceptions, rejecting this blatant intervention in Venezuelan sovereignty. Let the world take heed.
Because this represents... Well, this one doesn't have a beard. The one who has to soak whatever it is. I think whatever you have down there, soak it, because they're going to cut it off.
Severely. A threat to order? I mean...
He's not talking about the cows there were. Where was the mistake? He's not giving an explanation. The Minister of Defense isn't explaining why. Nicolas Maduro could have been attacked inside a bunker in Fuerte Tiuna. It was found that more than 11 helicopters flew over Caracas and that the anti-air defense didn't work. And that this was a real international embarrassment. He's not explaining anything, could you say? They disabled our system. They hacked us. Communications weren't working. The radars were broken. Hey, if we were drunk somewhere with women of questionable morals, I don't know, something like that. You had to say something, anything, and they didn't say it. And they didn't say it. But be careful, be careful. Because when the Delta team entered Maduro's bunker, don't think they went there to take Maduro's thong? Don't you think they took the woman's dentures? The false one. I mean, they took phones, computers, documents, the briefcase. The United States has taken first-class information, first class. It's truly a scandal. It's a real scandal what the United States has in its suitcases right now. Get ready, because they've gathered information about everything in the 25 minutes they've been here. Inside the bunker, they took computers, hard drives, information, servers, everything. They did it with bin Laden. And then they wanted to destroy it. That's why the force is exhausted. Padrino still can't explain. Let's keep giving him a chance. 5 minutes remain.
If today it was against Venezuela, tomorrow it could be against any state, against any decent country.
Any narco state, any dictatorship. It's good that they start to be afraid. That's good that they start to be afraid.
And that colonialist pretension that they want to implement in the spirit of the Monroe Doctrine over Latin America and the Caribbean, we reject it from here.
What Marco Rubio and Trump are saying won't work. We need to move on to phase 2, which is openly acknowledging that they are going to attack military targets inside Venezuela, acknowledging it because they have already been attacked. I'm warning you that tonight I'm going to show you something that's going to drive you crazy. But get ready, okay? Get ready for what you're about to see.
We permanently vote for peace, for political dialogue, for understanding, for respect for human rights, for respect for international law. Those are our genuine votes, and those of the Bolivarian National Armed Force.
The same one that left those from Tentra. Thank you.
It has been an institution that has ensured...
But what has it guaranteed? Maduro used to say my bunker is infallible. By the way, what we were saying about the show that Nicolas Maduro was laughing at, about the call that Salita was laughing at, the times Maduro would come out and dance, they would show it to Donald Trump. Donald Trump got nervous seeing Maduro dancing every day. And that was what triggered the decision. Maduro's little dances have driven them crazy. For acting like a clown, we told him. Maduro, stop dancing. You're provoking him. And Maduro kept going. Peace, guarno, peace. You laugh at Trump. Take that, devil.
Democratic and constitutional continuity of the country. We were reflecting these past days about what could have happened.
Cuba didn't want to give Aaliyah the power in 2013 when Chavez died. Diosdado, as president of the National Assembly, was legally supposed to take provisional power but chose not to. No. The Cubans didn't want to put him in power. Chavez. They don't let him speak as he dies. We'll explain that topic another day. They put Maduro in because his wife is the one pulling the strings to get him in.
Venezuela, what state of anarchy and chaos would we be in today if the country's military institution, with its values...
Of course, they don't talk about anything. They're not even going to send him a lawyer. They're going to have to hire a lawyer from Timo to go defend Maduro. It's unbelievable. Even the ambassador, if there is one in the United States, which I don't know, I have no idea. Please clarify this for me. No one has gone to see Maduro. No one has gone. He is incommunicado. Let's see tomorrow who he shows up with in court. Let's see if tomorrow Maduro, in front of the New York judge, starts dancing, does his little dance. Trim, tram, no war, peace, dialogue, please, dialogue. Let's see if he says this to him. Let's see if he tells him.
His principles and Republican morals would have allowed fascism to be introduced here, personal ambition, and access to political power through extra-constitutional means. And then the coup, one more coup, another coup, and the counter coup, and that disaster. But
what coup have they done to remove Maduro from you? I mean, first of all, I'm serious, okay? First day of operations and Maduro's taken away? If they had taken to, I don't know, to Michelo, if they had taken, I don't know, some disturbed person from the regime at an intermediate level, I'll give you that. A drone comes, a drone, they detect where he is, I don't know, right? The boss of the head of the presidency, the bald guy they have there, or if they take Lares or someone like that, I'll give you that. But on the first day, they take Maduro and his wife. And what about the suitcases? What? Coup after coup? Here, they've only given you one coup and left chaos.
the Bolivarian city has guaranteed in perfect unity with the people.
But what have you guaranteed? But what exactly?
A ruling has guaranteed, I repeat, the democratic continuity of Venezuela and will continue to do so.
Your job was to guarantee the safety of Nicolas Maduro and to make sure the Americans didn't enter Venezuela. They haven't entered. In fact, they've strolled through Fuerte Tiuna, where you are the Minister of Defense and where you instruct the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, where just a few days ago you were pinning Temu pins on new soldiers. They've entered the military academy, but what is this? Don't you realize what a worldwide embarrassment this is? That the United States gets into the biggest military academy in your country, and they take the president and the woman they took Maduro away in flip-flops and flip-flops. By the way, I bought Maduro's tracksuit. I bought it. It cost me 219 euros, but I invested because I know that in the next studio I'm going to set up, I'm going to put it in front of the camera, Maduro's tracksuit. It's just that they're a meme. They're a meme and a global embarrassment. How can you discuss regime continuity when your role is defense?
Did.
And he hasn't done it. Right? They ordered night vision cameras on AliExpress, night vision goggles on Temu, and they sent them 4 green flashlights. They think they're the SEALs.
Because order, peace is our body.
Now they've given assault rifles to the guys on motorcycles. Hold on.
It's our port, Bolivar used to say, and because the homeland means a lot to us.
Bolivar lasted longer than Maduro, who hasn't even made it through 1 round.
It doesn't represent everything, Bolivar used to say. I want to quote him here.
We're already tired of Bolivar. For God's sake, what you have to do is explain how and who has failed. Just do it. If you're the Minister of Defense, your duty is to give an explanation. To the Chavistas, to the Gorgojeros, to the Gusanos, you have to give them an explanation. How did you fail? How is it possible that all these Cubans, well-tanned and well-fed, haven't been able to protect Nicolas Maduro from an assault? He doesn't have it. It's just crazy. Let's look at some photographs so we can find out, okay? So we can find photographs of Martis. Let's see. Let's see if Vladimir Padrino finds out that on the 3rd, the United States of America flew over the skies of Caracas and entered Maduro's bunker. Supposedly, this is the line. that the helicopters followed, entering through the back of Fortituna and landing there. That is to say, Godfather. They came from the back area and sneaked in there. How can this be? How can this be? Well, it's a certain way. It's called incompetence. Incompetence. They're incompetent. They're a bunch of incompetent people. Militarily, it's a disaster. It's a complete disaster. And they've given anti-aircraft missiles to the Baker from Qatar. They say, if you see a plane, aim and press here. Well, that's how it is. They didn't shoot down a single one, not a single one, because you have to know how to use the weapons. And since they've given missiles to everyone who went to pick one up at the town square, none of them know how to use it, but everyone takes a picture with the missile. Everyone does it. The only thing the Deltas were missing was to start a TikTok live and broadcast the arrest live. Is it what Trump says that we have to do this stealthily? The element of surprise, but surprise for what? If all of Caracas saw it, if everyone was watching the planes, if people saw the helicopter that took Maduro away flying 30 meters from their window, what element of surprise? If the people who were supposed to be there weren't there, those with the Timu screens in that room watching Flight Radar, where were they? They were playing Call of Duty, Fédération Internationale de Football Association. Or were they watching MasterChef? They weren't here. There was no one. Here were the 4 Cubans who protected the monkey, and the monkey was taken away in pieces. Makes sense, that's it. And here is Vladimir telling us his life story. Well, go on, Vladimir. Let it all out.
Well,
but get ready for the exclusive. Get ready, because this isn't the worst part. This isn't the worst part. The worst part is coming up next. After what they've smashed for him, get ready.
I have an 1826 letter.
I don't know. Maybe they were studying Bolivar's book or taking notes.
200 years ago, that event happened. Specifically on August 6, 1826, Bolivar was alive. To a planet, we have a flag that has been a witness.
Look, the only image we saw of Fortuna is people running out with their cars, rolling downhill. There's the video. I'm not making it up. The video's right there. Now, we'll talk about Maria Corina. We're not in a hurry. We're going to be here for a while, I promise. And today, we're going to have an amazing show. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about the world. Maria Corina, what's going on here? What has happened in the opposition? How can this be? Today, I'm going to get soaked all the way. We're going to get covered in mud all the way.
With our glories and our calamities, the homeland is the sacred word.
Come then.
We passed this to Rafael Urdaneta, August 6, 1800. They don't want to impose on me. I call on the people of Venezuela to resume their activities.
Let's decide if they should protest or return to work.
They don't want to impose.
Let's see.
I call to the homeland. That must prevail today. I call on the people of Venezuela for peace, for order, not to fall into the temptations of psychological warfare, of threats, of the fear they want to impose on us. I call on the people of Venezuela.
This is key, huh?
To resume their activities, economic, work-related, of all kinds, educational soon.
This one sold Maduro. He's sold out Maduro. Are you telling people to go out into the streets to protest, and now you're telling people that this is over and to go back to work? They kidnap the president of your country and his wife in the middle of the night in bed. The Minister of Defense urges people to return to work. The minister who vowed to die for the revolution and declared no invader would set foot on believers' land. And now he tells people to go to work. It's this one. It's this one. Instead of saying the country is totally paralyzed here until Maduro returns, let's take military action. Let's do something. I don't know, throw paper airplanes or something. Doesn't what he and Delcy are saying make sense? Let's mobilize, like Nicolasine says. Let's go out to the streets. And the Minister of Defense is saying we're going home.
And the homeland must move forward on its constitutional track. Next Monday, that is January 5th, we will be witnessing a constitutional act, I repeat, which is the installation of the National Assembly for the next constitutional term. And from here, we already applaud that act.
That's it. They're turning the page. They're turning the page on Maduro. They're moving on. Nothing is happening here. Tomorrow we appoint Delcy Lamanca, or just pick anyone we find on the street as president, and appoint the assembly for the next term. And that's it. Nothing's happening here. Nothing has happened here. Nothing has occurred here. On the 3rd, January 2 a.m., nothing happened. These people betrayed Maduro, so when he finds out, they need to show him this video. Marco, you have to show this video to Maduro, because when Maduro sees it and sees that they've betrayed him, he's going to sing like a canary. He's going to sing La Traviata. He's going to sound like Pavarotti. He's doing an entire opera called Who Are They? Play the video for Maduro so he can see who betrayed him. All of them, Maduro, they've all deceived you. That they've just taken Maduro away and they've already set up the new assembly here for the 2026 term. But what kind of madness is this? No wonder Marco Rubio came out saying, no, we're talking with Delcy. If you can already see what's happening here, that they're doing it in a way that's delicate, so that the rest of the groups armed in the streets don't realize that these three have sold out Maduro.
National Assembly as the prime democratic center for political debate. So the homeland continues.
Are you seeing it? The homeland continues. No, it continues without the leader.
A destiny of development, prosperity, and stability.
What happened when they took Chavez away? All hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. They took Maduro away. He said, the homeland goes on, we'll keep going, everyone go home.
And we, soldiers of the homeland, will be here to guarantee it. I'm going to read a statement from the Bolivarian National Armed Forces for the country and the world.
I think we've already seen this.
We already fully support the decree of state of external commotion throughout the national territory previously signed. In this same sense, the Bolivarian government will guarantee the governability of the country. And our institution will continue to use all its available capabilities for military defense, maintaining internal order, and preserving peace.
I'll bet you whatever you want that this week, a tanker from the United States will arrive to load oil, and it's going to load it. and it's going to leave, and it's going to load, and whatever you want. Instead of saying it's over, send oil to the United States? Here, this is going to stay the same. Here, this is going to stay the same. They've sold it. They've sold it. They left it with the bare minimum. They told him his location, time, and reason for being there. Sold out. That clear? And now, Maduro eating this. They're enjoying the money. Laughing at Nicolas Maduro and his statements, we solved the problem. Maduro, 3 sausages, who knows what he's going to do with them, stale bread, some veggies, a little bit of broccoli, and rice. I don't know, Nicholas. Do you think it's worth it to keep eating this for the rest of your life and let those who sold you out laugh at you right now, eating as they please? Nicolás Maduro's son, Nicolásín, do you think your father deserves this? That great fighter for the revolution. Do you think your father deserves to eat a piece of dry cake, a piece of bread? Well, at least they gave him a little towel to wash his hands. It's something, and meanwhile the godfathers, the gods, die. All of them there. If not, what's the point? Diosdado is also wanted. There's a reward for him too. Yes, he also has a reward. Padrino has a reward too. Why didn't they take them if we were already in the same operation? We could have taken all of them.
Therefore, we operate throughout the entire National Geographic space and in perfect popular military police fusion. The commitment is in full operational readiness. The goal is to integrate the elements of national power in the mission to confront imperial aggression.
How are you going to confront it? Prepare yourselves for what I'm about to show you.
I'm sending a single combat unit to secure.
Haven't you spent 4 months creating one combat unit?
Freedom, independence, and the sovereignty of the nation.
What did they name Kepchu? Oh my goodness.
The Bolivarian National Armed Force is the United Liberating Army of the 21st century.
How does selling them benefit them? Will they get to stay in power a little longer and they don't get taken to the United States? That at some point they'll be given a way out to a third country like they offered to Maduro. And that they won't repeat Maduro's mistake, believing they were protected only to have everyone go down together. What happened here is that when the ship started to shake and they saw it had a leak, Padrino, Lares, and all those you see back there started to notice. Plus Delcy, plus Diosdado, that the captain of the ship didn't want to go to port before the ship sank. And since he didn't want to go to port and the ship was going to sink, they told the Coast Guard to pick up the captain, saying we'll handle the ship to prevent it from sinking. I think people understand it. The only problem here was Nicolas Maduro. They're still going to be criminals. Yes, they have to be judged. Of course, is this the solution for Venezuela? Not at all, but Donald Trump is not the president of Venezuela. He has his own interests. He's freeing Venezuela, and now we'll get involved. Now, what has happened here with Maria Corina and what has occurred today as I reflect on this topic? I've started to notice certain things that obviously aren't moving at the pace they should have. And everything that has happened with everything that has occurred is tremendous. But first, we have to listen to God. What has God said? Given. Without the gavel, there's no gavel anymore. The gavel's gone. Marco Rubio has already told God, gavel, it's over. I wondered yesterday why they didn't take all the leadership. Good year and thanks, Anna. If you can't take him, just take him away and bomb them where they are. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for that help. Thank you so much. Let's continue with the super chat, okay? I want your opinions because if you know where Maduro was, you know where everyone was. Why do you care so much about sending them all to hell? You keep the boss, interrogate him, put him on trial, and on top of that, you finish this in a go on a trip. Super chat. Manuel Delcy, is she one of Trump's queens? Surely yes. Thank you, Juan Bellavista Ruiz. Everyone needs to clean up. It's obvious, Captain. Let's discuss it now. Sol Calderon, thank you very much, Fran. There won't be any progress if they keep going. Godfather Diosdado Guillermo, you can't imagine the huge cleaning Venezuela needs. Edward, thank you very much. I think they went out to defend Maduro with brooms because this is just terrible. Lizzie Paga, thank you very much. Really? Rodri Max, no one betrayed them. Drones were watching.
Yes.
Let's see. A drone can give you the ability to intercept telecommunications. To watch from the air, a drone, it doesn't go into Maduro's room to find out how many millimeters Nicolas Maduro's security door measures and how many thermal lances you'll need to break the door. A drone doesn't tell you this. It's told by the person closing, installing, or familiar with the bunker door. Plain and simple. If that's the Godfather, just imagine. Good evening, Nicholas. Come in, I'll close the door, and you can get him now. Eduardo, Libertad Media. Should we support Donald Trump and the liberator of Venezuela? Since Edmundo and Maria Corina wouldn't be sworn in or take military action, should we now back new military actions by Trump? Now let's talk about this, Eduardo. Let's discuss this because we need to talk. We need to talk about things. Since Fernando and all of them are alive, of course, they're all alive. Super Nacho, the thumbs, the laughs, Maduro Capaz's Happy New Year. And this mandate? Señas, look into that and strategies. There are no signs they've sold it, and Maduro is acting crazy. Thanks to Estrategias for your content. Big hug from Venezuela.
Hola.
Abigali, welcome, and thanks to Rancy Military Strategies. Mitchell, this is a farce and a joke. Estrategias. The first one surprised is me. I'm in shock. This is the first time military leadership hasn't been asked to make a public statement. What the hell went wrong for you to get in? Delta Force Group 1 at Fort Tiuna? There's just no explanation. They haven't said if the radars failed, if something else failed, or if the guard on duty fell asleep. Thank you, star contributor Abigali. Elia, hello. We've already discussed 2013 military strategies after Chavez died. True, they don't talk about legal defense. For Maduro, it's clear they're not going to send him any real lawyer. Luis Giordano. They laughed and danced, going bang, bang, bang at Nicolas, repeating, Fede, thank you. Please. Identify the flag Diosdado used at the rally, the one Petro displayed at a protest, and that Uribe died. I'll check it out when I have time, but right now I'm focused on military operations. You'll be amazed by what I'm about to show you. There was a king in the Senate. Everything stays the same. That the dictatorship is still there. So, what do they get from selling it? Well, it gives oxygen to the regime that was there so it doesn't get completely destroyed. Will they reach any agreement? That's what I thought yesterday. Why didn't they take all the command with them? Yes, that's true. He says Trump's plan is to remove these people. Officially, Trump says none can stay, but a transition period is needed. Now they'll go one by one, telling them you go to Turkey, you to Russia, to Cuba, you go here, you go there, bye. If they don't catch him, his own people will remove him. Noriega lasted longer than Maduro. Trump couldn't do more because Maria Corina and Edmundo didn't get sworn in or ask for military help. Trump has Congress against him. And now we're going to talk about this, Eduardo, because it's related to the exclusive we're going to share here tonight. We're discussing this now, Nero. They say the three sold out Maduro. Taki is like Wi-Fi, only works when convenient. Santissima, thank you for the general information. 6 stars, thank you so much for that super chat you're contributing. It's like you said, they sold him out, but Corina won't have the support to clean out all the rot that needs to be removed. No, she won't have it. Only trash can remove trash. That's why they were left. They'll go into exile and call elections later. That's likely the deal. Zapatero proposed something similar, a negotiated exit for Maduro, leaving Delcy in place and leading the country to elections. From memory. This already sounds like it came from there. Trump warned Delcy that not cooperating would make things worse for her. If they don't cooperate, they'll be taken down. They will cooperate, since they're not like Maduro. All right, let's listen to Dios D. Pay attention to Diosdado. And after this, we'll move on to the topic of Maria Corina and tonight's exclusive story. Because Trump officially can't attack Venezuela because he would have to take it to Congress. What Donald Trump did is a security operation for the arrest of Nicolas Maduro Moros. Officially, unofficially, things occurred. And tonight, I'm going to show you things that have nothing to do with Maduro, that have nothing to do with taking him away. But there are military targets that were destroyed. At least there is suspicion.
Diasti from our party and from the great patriotic people, and I send you a big hug. Let's not fall into their game. They're coming, look. Before these events yesterday, remember the huge campaign there was to divide the armed forces, to divide the revolutionary movement?
They haven't been able to.
That first stage failed.
They kidnapped President Nicolas Maduro and are starting the second stage.
No one should play along with imperialism.
No one should start making up stories along the way.
Here, the unity of the revolutionary force is more than guaranteed, and here there is only one president whose name is Nicolas Maduro Moros.
This is what they officially say for our people, because they know that if they say, let's turn the page, we move forward. And as for Maduro, over there in New York, with sandals at -8 degrees, they go after him.
There's no argument about it. There's no argument about it. That's what our sister Delcy has made clear. That's what we've made clear.
Notice how Delcy, Padrino, and he are already defending themselves.
All of us in the high command.
See, Padrino?
Also the police forces, all our people. Nuestro pueblo.
We have made it known to the whole world.
The president of Venezuela is called Nicolas Maduro Moros, and we demand that they return him to us safe and sound, that he comes back to his country.
There wasn't even a mobilization team. I told him that we should carry out a series of activities that are necessary to maintain maximum mobilization. Nerves of steel, tread carefully, tread carefully. No one should despair. Stay calm and sensible. No one should fall for the enemy's provocations. No one should fall. Notice something that's strange. Well, not strange, but like that one, you see.
When they overthrew Commander Hugo Chavez, someone was asking the question on April 11th.
How strange that a dictator would be applauded by the people, and that they would go out and protest for him.
Venezuela's current dictatorship is truly strange.
The people out on the streets are the Bolivarian people, the people who support Nicolas Maduro, the people who support the peace of our party, and of...
No action. They said they were going to attack Trinidad and Tobago, that they were going to do this, that they were going to do that. Neither one thing nor the other. But the thing is, it's getting much worse. The United States, to make sure they couldn't respond at all, has made a huge mess for them. And get ready. Get ready for this, by the way. POTUS soon. And did Mosque, as Maduro said, have dinner last night? They were thirsty.
They were thirsty. Let's see.
Let's take a good look. Now the topic is the world. Now the topic is Maria Corina. Let's see what the world says. Gonzalez about this topic? There's video. Let's play the video from El Mundo. Let's analyze the other part now. We already know that these guys have sold out to Maduro. Now they're negotiating with Trump, seeking an exit deal or agreement to prevent chaos in Venezuela. Let's see what the president-elect of Venezuela from the recent Venezuelan elections has to say.
The events of the last few days have marked a turning point in Venezuela's recent history. It's natural for there to be mixed feelings.
We understand and respect them. This moment is an important step, but not enough. The real normalization of the country will only be possible when all Venezuelans imprisoned for political reasons are released, true hostages of a system of persecution. And when the majority will expressed by the Venezuelan people on July 28 is respected without ambiguity, as has already been stated by various political and social actors. Only then can a true process of democratic transition begin in a serious and responsible way. Today, the one who usurped power is no longer in the country and is facing justice. This fact creates a new political scenario, but it does not replace the fundamental tasks that still lie ahead of us. Among them, one is unavoidable: the immediate and unconditional release of political prisoners, both civilians and military, who have been kidnapped for thinking differently, for demanding rights, or for fulfilling their constitutional duty. No democratic transition is possible as long as there is even one Venezuelan unjustly imprisoned. We are a force loyal to Venezuela, loyal to democracy, to the rule of law, and to the dignity of its citizens, just as established in Article 5 of the Constitution. Our legitimacy comes from the popular mandate and the clear support of millions of Venezuelans who long for a country with peace, with institutions, and with a future. That support is deep, widespread, and sustained, and it will never be betrayed. We are accountable exclusively to the Venezuelan people and to the sovereign will. That is why we act with responsibility, with a sense of state, and with the conviction that the transition must be built with firmness, respect, and national unity. Venezuela needs unity to rebuild itself, unity to heal, to come together again, and to guarantee that power is never again used against its own people. Venezuela needs truth, justice, and reconciliation without impunity. As President of the Venezuelan people, I make a calm and clear call to the National Armed Forces and the State Security Forces. Their duty is to protect, fulfill, and enforce the sovereign mandate expressed on July 28, 2024. 24. As Commander-in-Chief, I remind you that your loyalty is to the Constitution, to the people, and to the Republic. This is a historic moment, and we face it with calm, with clarity, and with democratic commitment. The country to come must be a country of rights, of institutions, and of hope, and we will build that country together.
We begin. First of all, before anything else, say hello to my in-laws Julio and Anna Leon, my wife Juliana Giardinella. We watch you every day from Sarasota, Florida. We admire your work sincerely. Paulo G. Paulo G, thank you so much. Greetings to your family, and thanks for watching and enjoying this. We start with this subtitled. First of all, before anything else, I want to say that for me, whoever wins the elections has all the possible constitutional support, and that on this channel, I'm not taking sides with either one or the other. I have no interest. I don't gain more or less by speaking well of one or the other. I only analyze geostrategy in the current situation. First, a recorded speech. It was recorded, not live. And Edmundo, who is reading from a teleprompter, is having trouble reading it correctly. I'm really sorry, but if you want, I'll play it again, and we'll notice that there are moments when he has trouble reading it. Second, on January 6th, 2025, Edmundo went to the White House and met with Joe Biden. January 6th, 2025. Edmundo meets with Joe Biden. January 4, 2026. Edmundo has not met with Donald Trump. Maybe this has bothered him. To Donald Trump, that he hasn't gone to the White House. Maybe to Donald Trump, a month before the 2025 elections. Was he bothered that Edmundo went to meet and shake hands? I want to thank Joe Biden. Maybe it bothered Donald Trump. That Maria Corina thanked Joe Biden for his support. Maybe. Maybe this bothered him. Maybe it bothered Trump. As I said today on Twitter, that they took Maria Corina out of Venezuela, and she went to Oslo before going to the White House. Because Oslo doesn't free Venezuela, who frees Venezuela? Whether we like it or not, whether you like it more or less, whether he's despicable or not, it's Donald J. Trump. It's not Joe Biden, nor Kamala Harris, nor the King of Norway, nor President Macron. It's Donald J. Trump. And he wasn't in Oslo. So the story of I went to Oslo to make contacts for whom? Who was in Oslo? The same people Donald Trump doesn't want in Venezuela's future. Leopoldo Lopez and a few others. When Marco Rubio and Donald Trump see this, they ask, what's going on? What's happening here? What is this? First, from my perspective, and this is my own analysis, which you may or may not agree with, the apparatus, the communication apparatus of the entire ecosystem. Edmundo Maria Corina is a total failure. How can that be? How can that be that Donald Trump gathers a gigantic military force? And Maria Corina Machado, when asked, do you support a United States military intervention to remove Nicolas Maduro from power? And I say I don't get involved in the internal affairs of the United States of America because it's a sovereign country and they know what they have to do. How? A person who aspires to be president or vice president or whatever of a country that is a world economic power. They prefer not to openly say, President Trump, help us get rid of Nicolas Maduro, and we authorize you as the elected president and acknowledge that you won the elections. To carry out a military intervention in Venezuela, which is endangering the safety of Venezuelans and also of the United States of America. Why don't you do it like that? Why? What kind of strategy is that? The guy who can give you the key to Venezuela, you tell him to fend for himself? No, I'm not calling Maria Corina Machado a leftist. I'm saying Edmundo went to the White House on January 5th. It's been a year since January 6th. To see Biden, and Catron hasn't gone to see him. It's already been a year. And when Maria Corina and Edmundo found out that an aircraft carrier, Gerald Ford, was arriving in the Caribbean Sea, and that everything that was arriving was arriving. Why haven't they gone to the White House? Why haven't they sat down with him? Instead of sending him an email through Marco Rubio or a video conference, go there in person. Show him that you have charisma. Shake Donald Trump's hand. Trump likes face-to-face contact. Physically? Venezuela can't be governed with idealism. Right now, Venezuela needs an incredibly big reform, a complete cleanup of the corruption that exists, which is immense. And you? What you can't do is go to Oslo and take pictures with people who are part of the past and are just trying to get close to you. Because they want favors, because they have personal interests, and in the end, what they're going to do is harm you. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And just because they gave you the Nobel Peace Prize, you can't deny there's a military intervention in your country. So they can remove Nicolas Maduro Moros, since he won't leave willingly. Neither Maduro, nor Padrino, nor Diasti, nor any of them. They're not going to leave willingly. This thing about peaceful transition, leaving willingly, that Maduro goes into exile, that he leaves and everything turns out fine, doesn't work. You can't tell 8 million Venezuelans who left, many losing family, that these crimes won't be prosecuted. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Venezuela needs strong leadership. On the same wavelength, the same tune, the same frequency as the White House. Example, Bukele. What does Bukele do? Look, example, Bukele, look at this. Look before. Winning or when he wins, Donald Trump says. From Guatemala, they've sent us a lot of people from the morass. We're not happy. What does Bukele do? He goes to the United States, sits down with Donald Trump, talks with Donald Trump, not even Marco Rubio, and he tells him, whatever you need from El Salvador, you have it. Donald Trump says yes, and he says, yes, I'll even give you the tickets so you can send them here without any problem. Marco Rubio arrives, sits down with Bukele. They take a walk by a beautiful lake there, and they shake hands. And the problem is over. The problem with the United States is over. Just like that. Just like what the United States has said. We need a transition period where diplomatic conditions are created of security and of services to society that is sustainable for Venezuela. To put right now, Edmundo, Maria Corina, or any of them, is that within a year and a couple of months, there will be another coup d'etat. How can you come out and say, that you only have to remove 20% of the military leadership.
Claro.
When you know that's not the case? When you know that the entire military leadership has to be changed? When you know that the army has to be rebuilt from scratch, once again based on democratic values, not Chavista or revolutionary values, or the mother who gave birth to them? Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. Sometimes you have to be tough, firm against excessive kindness. You don't get anywhere in these countries, not in our shared cultures. You don't get anywhere by just being nice. You have to go in with a firm, clear idea. This is what I'm going to do. A, B, C, D. I'm going to put an end to corruption. I'm going to remove all the Chavistas from the government and from power. Will Venezuela ban communism? They've done it in Poland. It's a country in the European Union. Nothing happens. There's no drama. Nothing happens. Some groups have been banned in the United States, and now nothing happens. I'm truly sorry to let people down. Donald Trump said it. Maria Corina is good, but not enough. Donald Trump said it. She has indeed thanked Donald Trump. She told him that the Nobel Peace Prize is partly his. Pam, would you have been the White House? Careful, things can still change. Things can still change. But of course you leave Venezuela, and when you were in Venezuela, you made videos every week. And then you leave Venezuela and you just release a press statement, barely appearing in videos. Edmundo Gonzalez releases a video on the 5th, after Maduro is either kidnapped or removed on the 3rd. 48 hours are needed for the elected president of Venezuela to come out.
No.
To take charge of this situation. Well, why haven't they taken charge yet? Why haven't they been elected? You already had the support of the European Union. You had the support of the congressmen. You had the support of everyone. Why didn't you do it? That's another question. Why haven't you made a decision? The reins and control of Let's Go are with Donald Trump to liberate Venezuela. Why haven't you done it? I'm neutral. I'm not here to tell people what they want to hear. And if you really think about it from the heart, all of us who care about Edmundo, who is an incredibly wonderful guy, and Maria Corina is wonderful, and we send her a hug. Maybe one day he'll come to the show and open the doors wide. This is his home and everyone's home. Here we want people from the free world, but I'm not here to say what people want. A Nobel Peace Prize won't free Venezuela. It will be freed with a military force like the one Donald Trump has. What else would have mattered? The plane that departed Curacao and needed to stop in the United States for refueling? Would it have stopped in Mar-a-Lago or in Washington, District of Columbia, for 3 hours? Get off the plane, thank Donald Trump, tell him that we are going to work together, hand in hand. Take your plane and go to Oslo and pick up the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever you want. What was the problem with that? The things you all are telling me, there are things that maybe you don't know, strategies. What we know right now is that they're going to use Delcy. Instead of using Maria Corina and Edmundo. This is totally shocking, huh? This is a communication failure. What do you mean I'm not neutral? What do you mean I'm not neutral? Am I a Chavista now? But that's crazy. Maria Corina has done incredible things. She's led protests. She's taken risks. She was kidnapped by the Chavistas. It turned into a huge mess. In fact, I think that in 2024, when Maria Corina was kidnapped by the colectivos on motorcycles, someone calls someone from the White House, calls someone and says, "You better let her go now or I'm coming." And this ends right now. And tell me, how is it that she later shows up in a plaza and says, "I'm fine"? I mean, she has had support, and there is support. I mean, Congressman Salazar and all of them support, and Marco Rubio supports Maria Corina and Edmundo. What are they telling her now? The situation is what it is. Venezuela is a disaster. The economy is a disaster. The industry is a disaster. Social services are a disaster. The military is terrifying. Corruption is insane. We're going to put you there now. You'll arrive on a plane. We'll take you to Miraflores. We'll say you're the president's, and in a month, in a year, they're going to stage a coup against you. And we start with the same story, and this is what has happened cyclically in Venezuela. If you look at the history, there was a coup, democracy returned, and then there was another military coup, and so on. 1, 2, 3, 4. What problem would there be now if there was an administrator from the United States of America managing Venezuela and getting it out of its current situation? I don't see any problem at all. I don't see the situation as that serious. Donald Trump has said it. We are going to sell Venezuela's oil, and the money will be properly distributed between Venezuela and American companies because they have provided the technology, because they have provided the talent, and because that costs money. But he hasn't said we're going to keep the oil and Venezuelans won't see a single dollar. He hasn't said that. On the contrary, he said, we're going to take care of Venezuela. We're going to take care of Venezuelans. We're going to get Venezuelans out of where they are, and everything is going to be fine. We know what we're doing, and he knows what he's doing. That for a while, however long it takes, 6 months, a year or more, Venezuela becomes Puerto Rico and is under a United States protectorate. Hey, well, that's not bad at all, because the United States, whether we like it or not, it's the only one capable of kicking out the guerrillas in the jungle and handing them all back to Petro so he can deal with them himself. Because when the United States opens a base there, with security from the United States, there will never be any more coups. Never again. What Donald Trump wants is to make sure there won't be any more problems in Venezuela, nor will the Iranians, Russians, or Chinese come. And they're going to take over that place because strategically it's important for the United States. And Trump is the president of the United States, not the president of Venezuela. And what he's saying is, we're going to help you, and we're not going to stay forever. Afterwards, there will be elections, a strong leadership will be sought, and from there, may peace, love, and harmony prevail. Of course, how do you dismantle a government like this without having a civil war with the guys who are in control? Right now, one by one, you tell them you're going to do this, or you go with Maduro, you're going to do this, or you go with Maduro, and you'll see. You, like Vladimir Padrino, Delcy, and the other one, find a way to disappear, each one in their own time. Or maybe not, right? Maybe. We're moving on to phase 2, which I think there will be a phase 2 because the Marines have been preparing to land on the beach. And also, you're going to see now what I'm going to show you. You'll see because we have an exclusive to give you. Right now, there's going to be a phase 2 and there's going to be an invasion, in quotes. And now you're going to see it. With this, I conclude the analysis of what's happening now with Maria Corina, Edmundo, and the entire situation. I'm not Venezuelan and view this from the outside, which may be a disadvantage since I don't know everyone involved. It might be, but it could also be an advantage since I'm impartial and view this from an outside communication perspective. And I say, well, this isn't being done right. This isn't being done right. They're not relying on the people they need to rely on to improve communication. This is obvious. It's just obvious. It's something that, well, let's do things right. Can Trump change your mind by next week? If here in Maria Corina and Edmundo's group, things start to change and things are done right, hey, look, no, we're going to make Maria Corina the manager right now. Edmundo, Maria Corina. They're Venezuelans. We're going to give them instructions on what needs to be done to get the country out. But they're there. They had it great. It's phase 2. It's the systematic attack on the structure of Chavismo in a military way. That's what he said, what Donald Trump said. We are prepared, armed, and ready if necessary, and if not, they follow our instructions. It's that clear. Trump is ready for all options. Has Trump already taken the step? It's better to do things the easy way because the hard way, like when we took Maduro, doesn't end well. That's how we go with the big bomb. There's a big news bomb, family.
Yeah.
Officially, Donald Trump couldn't launch an attack on targets that weren't related to the extraction of Nicolas Maduro. However, the port of La Guaira was attacked and airports south of Caracas were also attacked. However, there are suspicions that 2 other targets not related to Maduro were attacked that night. Here in Military Strategies tonight, we open the melon about what the United States hasn't revealed to avoid getting into trouble with Congress, but about what might have happened and hadn't been talked about. Family, there are many of us, so like and comment. Let's get to it. Enough geopolitics. Let's move on to the map. One second. Just a second. I'm going to say something very clear. Ada Lopez learns from Guarimba Digital's analyses. I do my own analyses. I love Gaston and Mark. They're amazing, and what they're doing is incredible. They're great communicators, and they do an awesome job. And we're in the same boat, and I go there, I talk with them, we laugh, we share things, and we do a professional job. But Ada Lopez, this is military strategy. I have my own way of seeing things. I have my own analysis. And I don't have to learn from anything or anyone, nor copy a format or a way of seeing things from nothing and no one. To clarify, some people prefer Coca-Cola while others prefer Pepsi. If you like Coca-Cola, drink it. Others will choose Pepsi or mineral water if they prefer. If they dislike Coca-Cola and Pepsi, let them choose any drink. But I'm not going to come here and repeat what I've always said about Israel, Gaza, and everything. I'm not going to say anything just to get more views or fewer views, or because you want to hear what you want to hear. I'm going to say what I see, and what I see is that. And now, please, let's drop that subject. Let's relax. Let's get to it. It's all the same now. Am I wrong? I hope I'm wrong and that tomorrow Maria Corina or Edmundo becomes president in Venezuela. That way, we get rid of Delcy, the other one, and the 3 musketeers of terror who haven't done anything and take them all too. I wish, more than anything, I want that. Come on, family, let's go. Come on, let's go, let's go. Strong. Tuna? January 3rd, 2026. Officially, the United States launches a strategic bombing to create enough security conditions for a Delta team. Group number 1 enters Nicolas Maduro's bunker and arrests Nicolas Maduro. To do this, the capital's anti-aircraft defense systems are attacked, threats on the ground and in the air are neutralized, and the operation is carried out. No casualties, but there are some injured and damage to an aircraft, at least. What the United States doesn't officially reveal is why the warehouse at the port of La Guaira was bombed and what was being hidden there. They also don't explain why there's a heat signature. That's inexplicable on that night. Too many coincidences. We saw it the other day, we talked about it, and I said here in Military Strategies, we're going to change the map. About what? A few weeks ago, that seemed very strange to me. On this channel, we were talking about a very specific place where it was happening. A delicate situation for the political prisoners. We were talking about a place where things were clearly happening. I'm going to emphasize this. There are still no clear satellite images. Of the elements we'll show, but there are heat signatures that are not common. They're not common. We discussed that prison south of Caracas the other day. What we used to call the dungeon, that sinister place of Napramil, where things happen sine promo, this place. This is the cell area. And we are in Military Strategies, looking at the heat signatures from day 3. This is, I insist, south of Caracas. Let's look for it around here. Here it is. Same place there are the cells in the area. To the north, that is, going up a little bit. In this area here, there are heat signatures, which means something happened there that night. And this doesn't detect a barbecue. This doesn't detect a barbecue. Now that it was on mute, I was saying... Wait a second, I was saying... The satellite doesn't detect a barbecue. That night, there was a lot of fire. In that prison, there was a lot of fire. In that place. I don't think anyone started a fire or dropped a cigarette and everything burned down. This, what it detects are very strong heat sources or fires, usually fires. We still lack a recent or high-quality satellite image of that place to confirm my point. But all this that we see here is a complex of prisons of the regime. The exact place where the mark is shown is the center, the one I consider the logistics center, the same one we see here. An operation was carried out there that night. We don't know, no one has been able to go in and check yet, but there's something else. Now comes the real bombshell of the story. There's another place that's not a prison, that's not a military base.
Claro.
Lake Valencia.
Yeah.
Maracay. We keep going this way. The drone air base. But it's not the Mariscal Sucre Air Base, which is where we're headed tonight. No, it's not. There's that same night. Another heat signature. Important. Pay attention to this. Lake of Valencia. Mariscal Sucre Air Base. North of the base. We're going up, we're going up. And pay attention to what you're about to see here. What happens on the 4th? Now you're going to see. See what happens here. A huge mega heat stain. And what is this? What is this place? Weeks ago, in military strategies, we were doing a thorough, complete investigation. Of a very specific place. Delcy Rodriguez. On the 3rd? On the 3rd? He says that something is being bombed in Aragua, that something is being attacked in Aragua. But he gives no explanations or comments and says nothing about what was attacked. Family? Let's go downstairs. Right now, there are 32,000 of us watching what attacked the United States of America in Aragua. We went down and found the joint Russian arms factory. Iran. Here in this place, they manufacture ammunition, drones with offensive capabilities that can reach the United States of America. But the fire is a bit further north near the facility. It is known that Russian engineers could be there, and the United States would have had a serious problem. If there were Russian casualties, where is the heat signature? We look again to the north of the factory. Do you remember the program we did?
¿Os acordáis de lo que vimos aquí?
Did we also see it on Nitu's program? The bunkers of the factory where the weapons are stored. America, according to National Aeronautics and Space Administration's radar. There was a big heat signature that night, the night in question, in that area. The fire spread through this place and probably, it would have happened without being recognized by the United States of America. Something happened here. I'm hoping the satellite image will show us if there are black marks in this area. The last update was on December 27th, and we don't have a new one to confirm it yet. But if we do, this that we see here, fire, a lot of fire. On the 4th, from the 3rd to the 4th, when the satellite passes by here, it detects a mega fire in this area. Officially, the United States couldn't have attacked this without informing Congress, just like in other places, but we have visually seen that they have been attacked. Why? Would the United States want to destroy the bunkers that are there next to the famous Devil's Factory, this hellish place, to eliminate Venezuela's drone capability so that they have no offensive response capability with drones or missiles? Anything could have happened that night. Everything could have occurred at the same time that Nicolas Maduro was heading to the United States, America. Again, investigating and analyzing for hours. You get information where it seems there is none. So if someone lives in the area and wants to walk quietly and tell us things, I'd be delighted. I'd be delighted to know what's happening and what's going on. He says, check this out. This super chat is good. We'll put it over here. I don't want to say that I apologize if anyone has felt offended. I don't want to make anyone feel bad about the topic. The analysis of the current political situation in Venezuela, but I think it had to be done. And it's better to talk about things and say them clearly. Joaquin, did you notice that where Padrino was, there was no photo of Maduro? They're all of Chavez. Yes, that's true. I think there's one. I'm not sure, but I do think it's true, Joaquin. There's still none of Maduro. I think they want to erase Maduro from memory. We already have someone willing to go. Manuel, thanks for the super chat. We're with you. 10 says, hello, Strategies. What a great show. Greetings to my husband, Aldo Leone, who always follows you. Aldo, thank you so much. Also, dedicate some time to your family. Don't be watching us here all day, but hey, thank you so much for watching us. It's amazing. Whole families gather around the television to watch us and hear what's happening. It's truly an honor. What I really want is for Venezuela to be free, to be an incredible country, for its economy to be a world reference, and for you to live in peace. And hopefully Spain too, because Spain is a mess right now. Let them pull back the curtain. Let them reveal the connections between Podemos and the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party with the narco dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro. And let this be
algo.
Something important and something that happens really soon. If anyone has information about these bunkers, I'm not saying people should go there explicitly, but if you have any information you want to share, because you know or are aware of something, my email is info@militarystrategies.com. It's a topic that interests me to know if the bunkers have been destroyed or not, because those bunkers were hiding important things. Things that, in a second phase, the United States wants to have under control, which doesn't mean that anyone, please, should put themselves in danger by going there to film. What simply... If you want to tell us something, that's no problem. Our email is available, but please don't risk your safety to send us information. We're receiving many photos and details. I use it as a reference. I don't publish it so as not to put anyone in danger, obviously, but I truly appreciate it. And I also want to say something myself. There are a lot of content creators. Each one has their own channel, their own style, their own way of seeing things. I'm sure everyone wants, and I'm certain, to see Venezuela free. Everyone sees it that way. I see it this way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm very concerned. I'm very worried about the situation. It was a scenario we didn't have in mind. We didn't have it in mind today. And honestly, if there are people who don't like it, well, they just don't like it. If there are people who do like it, great. I want the best for Venezuela, and I am even more Venezuela. It's not Maria Corina. It's not the world. Venezuela is a country with millions of people, each one just as valid as everyone else. What matters is Venezuela, not the person.
No.
A great leader has to come, or there must be a great leader who is in charge of a great nation and is up to the level of that great nation. It could be Edmundo, it could be Maria Corina, or it could be someone else, but whoever it is, please let them do things right for the good of Venezuelans. That has to be the main goal of all this. It has to be the most important thing. It's inconceivable that the economic power of that country is in the hands of people like Delcy, like Vladimir Padrino, or like Diosdado, or like Maduro, until just 2 days ago. It's incomprehensible. It's not bad for it to be in the United States' hands. Saudi Arabia is doing well. Its main client is the United States, which handles Saudi Arabia's defense. Saudi Arabia pays with oil, and in return it gets defense and better security. That's Venezuela's solution.
No.
So much is said about Bolivar, and Bolivar, the leader of a bunch of countries, is gone.
Yes.
Why can't we see Donald Trump now, who you may like more or less, as the liberator? What is needed now? Things are happening tonight in Iran. Cargo planes with special operations groups are arriving in the Middle East. Things are happening in the world, and the world is changing too fast, way too fast. The moment. Look at what we have. Chile has already gotten rid of communism. Argentina has gotten rid of communism. Honduras, communism. Out, Salvador is aligned with the White House. Getting along with the White House right now is success. It's success. You must take advantage and seize the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's true that in that area it's available. Here the forest fire is ruled out. There have been fires in that area, but it seems to me it's too much of a coincidence that there was a fire that day. Way too much of a coincidence. It's a very sensitive area for a fire to happen, but we'll have to see, we'll have to keep investigating, we'll have to keep looking at things that are happening, that are going on at this moment. I still can't believe it. About Maduro, what can I say? It's just too unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Everything that's happened and happening. I don't know, just 2 days ago. Nobody could have imagined that Maduro would be right now in a New York jail. Nobody could have imagined it. People had almost lost interest in watching content about Venezuela.
Hello.
There was total discouragement. There was a feeling that nothing was happening. Nothing was going on. I used to say that if something happened, we'd know because someone would announce explosions in Caracas. We're not going to see anything on the radars. But the beautiful illusion we've been living since October is priceless. Whenever an F-18 appeared, a plane showed up, or we heard something was landing in Puerto Rico, people reacted. Strategies, a C-17 plane, helicopter, drone. That excitement we've experienced together, that we're sharing together, is priceless. You don't let it die. You don't let this fade away. Freedom is beautiful, an unextinguishable flame. The dawn of the 4th, the 3rd of January in Venezuela was a dawn without a dictator. Don't let the remaining dictators think they will stay in power. There's too much at stake. Family? Good evening, everyone. Military strategies.